Who's about to get angry? Me. That's who. Action. What's going on, Alamo City Movie Talk fans? My name is Ryan D, aka Ryan680.
I'm Angela, that cat lady Ange.
And this is Alamo City Movie Talk. Movie talk for movie fans, ladies and gentlemen. And it is hot here in Texas, guys. It is hot. It is streaming hot. We're about 105 degrees. If you put some cookies outside, they'll probably start cooking, right, Angela? We literally I'll show on the photo later, but we literally put a batch of cookies outside in our backyard where the back patio's at, and it's cooking as we speak. So maybe they'll be good by this evening, 8 o'clock.
I don't think I would even want to eat them right. On the porch.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's get right to it. This is our review of Angry Birds 2, ladies and gentlemen. Angry Birds 2. And, okay, so first off, little background, I guess you could say. We did not see Angry Birds 1 before this movie. So going into this movie already, just let you know, moviegoers, we're not going to mention any spoilers, by the way. You do not, for us not seeing the first one, it wasn't hard to see where everyone is at.
Because I feel like there's maybe a little bit of concept we missed not seeing the first one, but I really picked up on the type of vibe, the message.
Yeah, it was simple.
I'm very familiar with the game. I love the game. So I already knew going in, the birds and the pigs didn't like each other.
So we did reverse. So actually we saw the first one right after we got done watching the screening for this one. And so we have seen both of them, but we did it reversed. And I have to say, right out the bat, right after seeing both of them in the same day and going fresh in my mind right now, very fresh, I felt like the second one was a lot better than the first.
I did. I feel like the second one is a lot less cheesy.
And the thing is that just this one felt very casual. If the first one, right after seeing the second one, we saw the first one. The first one felt very forced comedy. It was just very forced and kind of just hey, hope you get it or don't. While this one was very laid back. It was very chillaxed. And I felt like it was so casual and normal. And I love the feel for it because it kept everything going. It kept the movie going. And the dialogue was a lot better on the second one, I would say.
I found myself laughing more at the jokes of the second one. It is cheesy. Again, it's marketed towards kids.
Yeah, but
not my type of humor. But I did have more laugh out loud moments in the theater watching the second one than we watched the first one in our home. So, and of course,
let's start off with the voice actors already. Josh Gad. We know him as Olaf.
I love him. Yeah, he's so funny.
He was Chuck in this one. In the last one, Jason Sudeikis. Of course, he's gonna be he's Red. The Red Angry Bird, and they had to get the recast and everything, and also I did love, and I know you said it too, and we were talking about it too. Awkwafina had a little appearance in here. I was like, what?
As soon as her character
I know,
spoke,
I was like,
that's her. I didn't even know. I didn't know she was cast in this, and I just knew it was her.
Okay, pretty much every time we mention Awkwafina, I'm gonna admit it, and I'll just be like, all right. She could act after I saw the farewell, and wow, she could really act, and there's potential there. There really is. And I'll say it over and over again every time her name's mentioned on the show or everything. It's just wow. I was amazed. At first, she was annoying from Crazy Rich Asians. I felt she was annoying.
I loved her character.
I know you loved her, but I thought she was annoying.
I've been a character since that movie.
I'll admit when I'm wrong, and I'll admit it so many times on this show. So she was in here. I loved her in there. Another one I would like from HBO's Barry, Bill Hader. Man, I can't believe he was in here. I was like, dang, what the heck?
The cast was very surprising. So they did have a lot of the same cast because a lot of the same characters are in the second one. And I really do like the way the cast are. It was pretty surprising. I didn't know that Peter Dinklage was in here. Yeah. And when we saw it, we didn't know who all the cast was when we saw the second one first.
We recognized some voices. I was like, wait, that sounds like this person. That sounds like...
But afterwards, when we saw the movie, we saw the cast, and then we watched the first one. I was like, you know what? All right, the Eagle, I can hear Peter Dinklage's voice now that I know it's him. He's awesome. I love him in anything he does.
And I will say this, we also did get Danny McBride, which we know him so many movies, Shake and Bake. And also, I know you talked about it a lot, was Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah, she plays she voices the villain's
daughter. No, the villain's daughter. Yeah, so I did not mind her.
I love her. Everything. She's so funny. I've always really loved her comedy ever since I saw Girls Trip. I know.
No, Girls Trip is a great movie. Not Night School was.
I feel like her humor is kind of like Kevin Hart. It's very. you either love it or you don't.
Yeah, no, I got
you. Me personally, I don't get tired of Kevin Hart or his humor. He's very funny. I laugh at anything he does. Stand-up movies. Same thing for her. She's funny in anything she does.
As far as the voice cast, I mean, this voice cast was phenomenal. I mean, we also get Nicki Minaj in here as well. She was Pinky. And also we get a lot of good cast in here, and I love that so much because you get different varieties of voices and everything, and we all know styles the voice. Yeah, we all know their style of humor. We know the way they talk is their tone, everything, dialogue.
It said that I cannot pronounce his name. Please correct me if I'm wrong. That young gentleman from Stranger Things, Gaten Mazzaro, is that how you pronounce it? He plays the one from Stranger Things, the one with is it dysplasia?
Oh,
with the baby teeth.
Yeah.
It says he has a small role in there, and I really wish I remember what character he was
right.
because he is awesome. That whole cast is awesome. But I really did appreciate all, even if it was just a small part. They did have a very wide variety of cast. I really did appreciate that.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I mean, they had so many different voices in there again, and it was really great. I loved it. I did love the colors in this movie. The colors were done very well. It didn't look too bright or too dull or anything. I love that so much. The animation was on point for this movie. And all right, so we're reversing back in time a little bit. We're going to talk about the short, the short in the beginning. The short was called Hair Love, and this short was by Sony Animation, and this was a great short.
It was awesome.
And it was minimum dialogue. I want to say like a few sentences were made during only I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but during the beginning there's no dialogue between the main characters. It's just a video. And I love that so much because it really shows the expressions of every single character in this movie. There's 3 characters in the short, and I loved it because you could tell what everyone's feeling, you could tell what everyone's emotions on camera without them saying any words, and I love that so much.
I think that makes it. I think if they had added dialogue, it may have lost some of the effects. So I really did appreciate that it was the way it was. Like you said, they had to carry the story through their expressions, through their facial expressions, their actions, and it was awesome. I loved it. It made me cry.
Yeah. Sony Animation it looks so great and phenomenal. I mean, just ever since Spider-Man to the Spider-Verse, they've been knocking it out of the park. I mean, just going on and on with Sony Animation, and they know what they're doing over there. And so I'll give this. So going into Angry Birds 2 and everything. So now going back to the this movie was just. I liked it a lot better, so much in the first one. Again, I'll say it again and again, and I loved it because it was relatable because parents could relate. We're not parents, but adults could relate to it as much as kids, and I love that so much because you always have to be very. You had to have everyone react in the theater. You had to have the kids react along with the adults.
Well, I really liked how it had that main story. There's the Angry Birds going against the villain. Yeah. But I also feel like I like that they had that side story with the hatchlings.
Yeah.
They have their own little adventure in this movie, and I think it was kind of like a comic relief or like a break from the original story.
Yeah, exactly. And it wasn't just the piggies versus the birds and everything. I love that so much because that story was so simple. This one, they went into the creative writing room and they actually made an original story that was very different. I was just like, okay, sounds good to me. I mean, I liked it. I really did enjoy it. Now, then again, this isn't a person that, again, we did not see the first one, but we understood the concept of it. I mean, it was so good. I love that story.
You can understand the concept if you've played the game. Like, you can see what powers or abilities the birds have if you know from the game. Like Chuck, he's super fast. He's a yellow bird. The bomb obviously explodes.
And I love the intro. They also introduced every single character again when they made a super team, and I love that so much because they really did show us who they were before. Even if you didn't see the first one, you would still understand where they come from, what their expertise are, and what they're good at.
Well, I really liked how they have the original cast, the 3 birds, Red, the bomb, and Chuck. But I really liked the new characters. Yeah. So obviously the villain, and then I really liked Silver.
Yeah.
Which is Chuck's sister.
Yeah.
I loved her. She was really great. I loved her character. It's
Clever
very
jokes.
Like girl power because she's like a super smart genius engineer. I really liked her character a lot.
Yeah, and like I said, just story makes sense. I love it so much. It does share a small background of each character, which I'll mention that as well. Good character development, I would say, for all the characters. I would just, especially for Red. Red had such a more he had such a more inner development, character development on the inside and out. Like, it just, everything from his emotions to the way he was thinking, everything changed from the beginning to the end of this movie.
And it's so funny because we do already see him change in the first film.
Yeah.
We see him change from this angry bird to, being more accepted into society, or into that island that the birds live on. But you see him develop more in this film, and I actually really do appreciate that more after having watched both of them now. Like, I appreciate that extra, he's always bettering himself, that extra development.
No, yeah, it's like I said, character development was really on point in this movie. I did like that little small twist at the very end, which I did like. It was very simple, and it wasn't too overboard. It wasn't too, it wasn't too cheesy whatsoever, and the story made sense again. And that's the really good thing about these movies and everything. It just, story has to make sense, because especially for animation, you just can't make any animated film and just be like, all right, just get, they can, but we'll just tear it up in the critic side. But I mean, all right, so let's get right to, what did you feel like they needed out of this? Because for me, I'm just like,
for me, again, I'm not totally in love with cheesy humor. It's for kids. Mm-hmm. That kind of humor just goes over my head. I think for me, at least, to make it more of a wholesome or well-rounded, not just for kids, maybe take away a little bit of the cheesiness, but it didn't bother me. Like I said, it was less cheesy than the first film. Mm-hmm. I found myself laughing more on the second film. And
I would say the story, the length of this time is 96 minutes. That's a pretty good time. That's a good time. I don't want it longer. I don't want it longer because it was, like I said, it was just going straight to the story, straight to the dialogue, and I love that so much because the dialogue made sense. It got everyone going, and I liked it so much. It was almost in the beginning, I would say it's kind of fast paced in the beginning, and then in the second act, it did get a little more climactic, and then of course the third act was just very climactic, and then it changes up a little bit. And like I said, I love the ideas of it. I really did.
What would you say you think it needed?
Huh? Oh no, yeah. Just, to be honest, right now, I'm like, man, I don't think it would have needed anything, because I don't think I would have changed anything, because like I said, it was a very short movie. I felt it was a really good runtime, and I liked the way we got out of it. So I really did enjoy that part. Now, was this the movie we deserved? Because going into this movie, I was just like, okay, it's Angry Birds 2. Is there a story to be told? Can you make a story out of this?
And they did.
Yeah. Surprisingly, they did. So I'm gonna say, yeah, this is definitely the movie we deserved. Going into it, I didn't think we were gonna get anything close to this.
I really liked how. My personal opinion, I think it's better than the first one. The second one definitely is better in our opinions. So I think, definitely it's the film we deserve. Because it's like a break from setting up the story of the birds against the pigs, and you kind of have to go forward from there. I think it's a good story.
Good. So ratings now, 1 to 10. What are you going to give this?
That's so hard. I would say maybe a solid... And I hate halves. I really hate halves. I'll have to say a 6.5.
Wow, I'm gonna go 6. I'm gonna go a solid 6. I'm gonna say a 6, and because I'm just like I said, it was a good story and everything. It was better than the first one. I was laughing more in the second one than I did in the first one, so I'll give them that. And I would say this: a film that shows that anyone can change, a worthy sequel that families will enjoy, and shows the world united at the very end. So I did love that so much, because we need more positivity in this world.
Yeah, really it's a great family film. Yeah. Great message. Humor, very wholesome, so everyone can enjoy
Alamo City Movie Talk does recommend this movie, guys. Be sure to check out a theater near you. We do recommend this movie, and I don't know if I would buy it. Maybe if it was on sale, for $10 or under, I would probably buy it. But if it's for the regular price for $24.99, I wouldn't even buy Steelbook, of course. But if it's for $24.99, I'll be like, nah. But if it goes on sale for Black Friday, $10. Boom, baby, I'm getting it.
I think I would definitely buy the second one. Yeah, I would still be a little hesitant on the first one, but
I wouldn't buy the first one. I would buy the second one just because I liked it a lot more. And okay, for me, for going into this movie, I don't feel like you need to watch the first one in order to get the second one, because it wasn't too much of a change, so to speak.
You don't. You just get more context.
You just get more background, just background of where obviously where it starts off for the second one. So I mean, you win or you lose, it just, I felt, and we won with this one, because usually in these rare occasions, usually the second one's worse than the first one, but in this case, we got the second one better than the first one, so I like that a lot, so that was good. All right, guys, as always, I'm your host, Ryan D, aka Ryan680.
I'm Angela, that cat lady Ange.
And this is Alamo City Movie Talk, guys. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, you like a review, guys. Have yourself a wonderful day. Thank you for making us a part of it.